Everybody, playoff time at the Underdog Cup, and we're kicking things off with Garden of Terror in our best of three. And yes, you heard right, this is the final best of three series of the playoffs. So the first round in the loser bracket is best of threes, because some of you might definitely now look at the screen and it's like, wait a second, isn't everything best of five in the playoffs? And technically you're right, most of the matches, nearly all of the matches are best of fives in the playoffs, but the first round of the lower bracket is a best of three series. So now that we have Fields of Zeaman go up against the KD Agents, it's still at most a three mapper. We still have the same rule, heroes can only be played once. Starting things off with a ban on Maiev as we're headed for Garden of Terror. So the teams really need to buckle down now and make sure that they're winning this series, or they're out of the tournament. And it should be an interesting one. KD Agents had a couple of pretty impressive games in the winner bracket and also in the group stage, going up against Fields of Zeaman, who themselves had some really fun series. If you would force me to make a choice here, I would probably give the advantage over to the red team, but hey, time will tell. We had also some absolutely crazy upsets already throughout the tournament. And again, the Underdog Cup is designed to shed a spotlight on the amateur teams. This is all happening in cooperation with heroeslounge.gg, the biggest European amateur scene that we have. Actually, the biggest amateur scene in the game, just full stop, isn't even a regional thing. We even have a lot of Americans playing in here, cross-server, because this is just where most of the players and teams are. So we're seeing a ban on Rhaegar for Garden of Terror and Dehaka. So you're already starting on a big map to eliminate some of the global plays that the opponent could technically use. Rhaegar is getting eliminated as well. He helps a lot with a clear on your, not only in the minion waves, but also on the mercenary camps. And then Greymane gets banned out as well. There's no crazy bans though. We had so many teams now that were afraid of the opponent playing Cho'Gall, for example, or going for Illidan. Depends always who you go up against, but it's kind of fun when you see these preference bans happening. And in one case, it was just absolutely hilarious, because we had a team that was just going the entire time. Like, Cho'Gall was banned out against the fighters over and over again, right? I think it was in their winner bracket semifinal, and then they advanced, moved up against the next opponent, and they didn't ban Cho'Gall, and instantly the hero got locked in. So they were just waiting for an opportunity to finally play him again, and finally got that chance there. So it was pretty cool to see that. It's just a difference in what people are afraid of, for how teams prepare for the next series. But by now we got Blaze and Hanzo as the early picks. We get Sylvanas on the other side. So with Sylvanas on a big map like Garden of Terror, you can really play around an opponent and try to just burn some of the structures out, especially when we're talking about forts, where you don't have to commit as deeply into enemy territory as when you go for a keep, for example. But for the KD Agents, we'll see what exactly they have in mind now. What do we get with this? Are we going to get a Lucio pick here for the red team? Or, no, we go for Brightwing. Brightwing and Hogger. Dehaka banned over Hogger, then Blaze being picked. I mean, normally in Garden of Terror, Hogger has an even higher priority than what we're seeing here. In most cases, when you're looking at the top level of play, he even gets banned out. But now that we're in the playoffs, obviously there's only teams left that can really get some proper plays in. Garrosh gets banned now too. That leaves us with a final ban for game number 1, and then we'll see how this one shapes off. I'm also a little bit curious what Fields of Zeaman is going to do with their main tank right now. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. And it's game number 1, so there's plenty available. You could still go Muradin, you could go for Diablo here. If you want to go for full-on sniper combo, you could also go for Varian, which I doubt is going to happen right now. They ban out Anduin. Not really needed. I mean, you already have Sylvanas on the other side, and if the lore taught us anything, that it is that Sylvanas is highly superior to Anduin. I'm not quite sure, by the way, if that is reflected in the Blizzard lore, but that is the real story that happened. What Blizzard doesn't want you to know. Just trust me, bro. So, yeah, the Anduin ban, therefore, not necessarily needed, but hey, doesn't hurt, right? So, we get Joanna and we get Whitemane. This is actually one of the cool things, you know, that you have a couple of these picks that people are just preference picks for them. Whitemane not high enough in the meta that she would be picked this early in the series. But then again, as I already said, with Jojo and Blaze, we now have a really nice front line too. We get Stitches and we get Falstad. So now we have technically even 2 tools that they could use to get some isolation plays going. Brightwing has been played a few times in the top level, with Emerald Wind even, so that Stitches after a Gorge can isolate the target even further and then get an easy kill in. But with False that you can also utilize the Gust, which frees Brightwing up to go into Blink Heal instead anyways. They have options now though. So the red team done with the draft, and with Stitches is already a clear idea of what they're trying to do here. As over on the left side we get Junkrat. With that, we're set for game number 1. So let's go. Garden of Terror, everybody. We got the KD Agents go up against Fierce Absirman. The blue team on the left with Yamar on Junkrat in game number 1 of the best of 3. We got Elixir on Johanna, Sasori on Hanzo, Casado on Blaze, and Win and Tonic is playing Whitemane. Okay, fair enough. Over on the right, the KD Agent starting things off with Stitches played by Simply. We get Hungry for More on level 1. We got Kratotel on Hogger, Kani on Sylvanas, and then No Scope Ninja is playing Falstad with Brightwing jumping in, played by Meg Giblets here for those heals. So the Gorge later on is going to be super interesting in how they're going to play around it. If Brightwing makes an adaptation there in the ult, or if instead we're just going to get some reliance on Falsa and the Gust. Stitches is already going for a bit of a warm-up hook and hits it immediately. There's no follow-up there, so they couldn't do anything about it. Kani is still sitting up at the top side. Mount game not on point, I might add. So yeah, full on pleb horse here. It's a little bit of a sad one. Just no self-respect. Rides into battle on the poverty horse. And instead, we have now in the middle, yeah, a little bit of poking around. Ooh, Falstad coming top side. Get some damage in against Junkrat, but not enough to really threaten them here. So, down at the bottom of the map with the 1 minute mark now slowly coming up. We have Hogger already in position for it. So Hogger is already saying hello. He can't wait. He is so eager. So yeah, teacher's pet there. It's like, so are you already on the camp? It's like, yeah, I've been there a couple of minutes early. That's the German Hogger for sure. You know, he didn't move in as the 1 minute mark approached. No, he instead was there 5 minutes early. The kill on Junkrat at the top, that shouldn't have happened. That's 1-for-1 kill. That should not have happened against Junkrat. But Falstad is not only able to get the kill, but also able to move out. We have now the fight at the bottom of the map happening, as they're trying to interrupt them, claiming the Siege Giants. Some damage done against Whitemane, who had to retreat. But now Kratotel is moving in too. So they're still pogging this out. Falstad is on the move. Blaze in the corner. They try and take the camp, but they lose both. They lose the Siege Giants and they lose Blaze. Great start now for the KD Agents, but it seems like Stitches is maybe not going to make it. Another kill attempt, and they go for Hanzo, who gets murdered. So did Stitches, and the bloodbath continues as they're trying to move in on Sylvanas, who gets out. Junkrat, talking about escaping, is also able to make it. They're turning it again on Jojo, and now Hogger able to bounce back out here. But yeah, we got some wild game going on. 3 kills, 2-1, and the Siege Giant stolen, which nearly destroyed the tower in the mid lane. So, not too bad. Leading experience obviously comes in as a result too. We have topside Sylvanas taking care of all of the extra XP that is currently on the ground here. The level 4 talent kicking in for the blue team too, with the first seed now spawning at the bottom of the map. But we have the tower taken apart, so this is going to give them some momentum in the middle of the map. And yeah, good for the KD Agents. Nice start into the first map of the best of 3 series here. A little bit more damage done already by the red team as they're trying to take additional camps, and they're locking in their bruiser camp as Junkrat is working over on the top left on the Siege Giant camp. There's only one team in the game currently that has a global that they could utilize in order to get some more map control as the game continues. And Falstad is right now at the bottom of the map. With the seed, by the way, still up, nobody has made a play for it. Everybody just sat tight, didn't make a move yet. We have still Blaze trying to push this a little bit further. Let's be careful here as well, though. And up at the top, fight continues once again as Sylvanas was starting to move in. Stitches is here as well. Could still throw a hook out. Doesn't have Gorge, obviously. But if he still lands that, it could give Sylvanas another chance to dish out a bit more damage. But Jojo was already looking for an opportunity to move in here and maybe do a bit of damage on Sylvanas, lock her down. That didn't really happen. So now they're defending at the top. The level 7 talent that test just kicked in is helping the team a bit too. And Hogger just still spinning full out of control here through the middle of the map. Went for seeing red on level 7. Tribute down at the bottom right, and they left Sylvanas alone. That's usually a pretty dumb idea for exactly the reason that you see here. Sylvanas is saying thank you very much, comes in, burns the minion wave down, takes the tower out, is now trying to fight for the rest of the wall, as down at the bottom of the map, the blue team is currently attempting to trap them a bit. Not with a lot of success, though. So, yeah, we have still that small lead in experience. Tribute still not claimed. And Sylvanas at the top wants to go for Junkrat. Gets a bit of damage there. Brightwing is obviously moving in together with her. This is one of the cool things that you can always do when you have a hero then on the side lane. You just engage, Brightwing moves in, gets a poly through. You have that CC, and that extra damage that can come from Brightwing might sometimes make the difference between a hero escaping or just being killed. But the wall is now falling, so they are doing a great job taking some of these walls out. The blue team has now decided that they are trying to use the opportunity to come in and take the seed. But it has, at least for now, been shut down. And Sylvanas is moving in to help the team out, grabbing the objective. The position of this one is obviously heavily leaning in favor of the KD agents. They're heavily ahead on that. Brightwing still soaking some XP at the top. They're nearly on level 10. And by now the seat has finally been grabbed by the KD agents. So they were able to lock that in. The hook from Stitches. Yeah, they were trying to get a quick kill here. But only hit a minion. Which was, of course, right away destroyed. But they need to do more than that. Towers still falling. The rotational play that we're seeing from the KD agents is solid. They're getting value out of this. And quite a bit of that too. So, doing a nice job, just taking control of the game with level 10 abilities. They could technically, I mean, first of all, they can try and invade the seat at the top left. But I think that by the time, oh, there's Gorge. I think by the time that they have level 10, they're going to have the same thing here. And the kill, the wailing arrow follow-up from Sylvanas really clutched it here. So, now they get kill number 4. But I still think that this is something that they're not going to let slide. They should be able to grab this without big trouble. We have them on level 10 in just a moment. The window just wasn't big enough for the KD agents to do anything. Level 10 abilities are in, no surprises so far. We get the Riptire, we also get the Dragon's Arrow for Hanzo. Down at the bottom of the map, Falstad and Brightwing are still pushing. And we have Blessed Shield for Jojo. Stitches still interrupting a bit at the top, but Sasori is grabbing it. Tribute for a tribute now. Sasori is able to get the one at the top lane. Yeah, and by now we got Cassandra at the bottom of the map facing off against Falstad still. It's a little bit of a slow down game though. The KD agents have gotten a few kills, but most of them came from their invade on the other side where they stole the opponent's siege giants. Ever since then, just isolated fights, but now the red team a little bit on the defensive. The arrow comes out, connects with one, Blessed Shield gets used as well, Gorge is in, the camp is taken, and the gust into the corner. Jojo in trouble, and she's not the only one. Whiteman and Johanna both fall. Now they're focusing on Hanzo, and he gets killed too. That is 3 kills in total in that situation for the KD agents. 7 to 1 kills overall, and that was just solid. They isolated multiple heroes here as they were trying to escape. Now they have that big power at the top that they can use to push through for the next structure. I mean, obviously one of the immediate problems here is that the camp is there. Sylvanas is with her. 13 is in. That's an advantage in range for the hook as well. They are looking darn good here. So the KD agents early on with 1 structure destroyed, with a big lead in experience. The blue team is trailing by more than a level. And I mean, at this point I would say with the advantage that they have, we should see a second seed for the KD agents. The hook is already out. Sasori gets gusted. Falstad had to use his gust to make that interrupt happen. The problem for the blue team is the longer they stay here, the more this top lane is going to be under pressure. So they are starting to move away, and Junkrat already hearth so that he can defend. They realize that against level 13 talents, it's highly unlikely that they're going to win the fight. And even if they do, they would lose a lot of time before that was the case. So they had to send somebody topside, and that's exactly where Junkrat now finds himself. Getting the experience for the team, doing some work here. Level 13, we also have Pummel, and we got Remorseless. And they are starting to push at the bottom of the map just a little bit. The talent gap is soon going to be closed. Khaldor has been escorting some minion waves through and also made sure that the team is pulling further and further ahead in experience. But we are getting also dangerously close to the KD agents having a chance to take another fort out. They're pushing for the bot lane, they get the hook, and where's that Gorge when you need it? Yeah, not even going for it. 19 stacks for Stitches, by the way. He needs one more globe, and then he gets the extra hit points and also the extra movement speed. Which in total will mean that he has then 10%. Jojo's coming in again. Blessed Shield is ready. If they feel they can get something done with it. There it is. Fallout from Hanzo and falls dead immediately with the gust. But there's the hook and Gorge, and now they get Jojo not behind the gate, but they still are able to get that kill. Johanna is gone. Another hook is nibbling on Brightwing's skirt. Dress, or whatever that is. And that could have been, of course, I mean, even worse than it already was. It's already annoying enough that you lose Johanna, but at least they avoided losing a second hero. They're playing a continuous catch-up game, though. They have level 13 talents, at least, so they could technically try and go for the fight. Now, oh, Blaze, no! He dies just as Jojo comes back, and on top of that, the red team just got the final seed, so now they have Garden Terrors. And this is obviously going to hurt the blue team a lot. Especially since we have level 16 talents in addition to everything else I just mentioned. That gives us Pulverize, for example. It gives us the Area Gusts. And we got Criterize for Brightwing. Move towards the middle as they're trying to go for the kill. Whitemane in trouble. And Win and Tonic might have to rename after this game. Because there's not a lot of winning going on right now. Oh, the Blessed Shield connects. I think Junkrat is still toast, right? The arrow gets sucked up and Junkrat gets killed mid-air. And then they go for Hanzo. They drop him to another hook and Jojo is dead. That's only Blaze remaining as a defender. And instantly the KD agents are moving aggressively through the bottom of the map, trying to aim for the keep. And of course, they're not the only ones at the top. The keep is going to get attacked too. In the middle, Hogger escorted Siege Giants in a little bit deeper. And the KD agents are just absolutely everywhere right now. Hogger is being pushed back, but the top side keep has also taken damage. And the one at the bottom of the map got essentially abandoned. Like a red-headed stepchild. So that's 13 kills, 2-1 now. And the first keep obliterated in game number 1. Gotta give it to the red team. They're doing a great job here. We have 27,000 damage from Sylvanas now. We got 22,000 from Hanzo, the two top damage dealers on each side. It's kind of funny to see Stitches in second highest place. He's outpacing Falstad as well, with the 21,000 that he now has. And they are looking for more kills here. The gap in experience is getting a bit crazy, if you ask me. I mean, now they're 2 levels ahead. The 16 talent will, of course, soon be ready for Fields of Zearman. But they gotta hurry to force a fight or two when that happens. Because if not, then they're up against level 20. And this is going to ruin their chances even further. Hogger is doing what he's supposed to do. He's just ping-ponging around on the map to get additional mercenary camps for them. They could also steal a few away, but, well, Jojo is in trouble. And a lot of trouble at that, and gets killed. Stitches just keeps landing these hooks and Gorge plays. Yeah, now we got the Wailing Arrow on Whitemane, gusted into the corner, isolated from the rest of the team. The bunker is there. They're desperately trying to keep everyone alive, and they actually pull it off for now. They pull it off for now, but, oh, they might have stayed a bit too long. Yeah, they have a 4 versus 5 going on. They decided that they can stay a little bit longer in the battle, and they were quickly proven wrong. That is the end of Blaze. Now they're trying to go for Junkrat. Ah, but the hook does not catch him. So, 1 kill, 215. But the KDHs need to decide how they want to play this right now. Wait for level 20, go for the keep directly, or for the core. Try and take a few more keeps out in the mid and the top lane. Like, how exactly are they going to try and run this one? There's a 3-level gap currently between the two teams, which is just bananas. The window of opportunity for the KD agents in this situation is wild. They're doing really well. Stitches is at 31 stacks now, so that's 750 extra HP. Still the 10% movement speed, by the way. Hasn't picked up more than that. Needs another 9 globes before he can get there. And in the middle of the map, yeah, that's where the blue team is just trying to play is a bit slow and safe. I don't envy them that position at all. You have to think about this for a moment. They are 3 levels behind at level 20. That's crazy. Just absolutely nuts. And, well, there comes the hook. There's the gorge. And this should well be another kill. Big arrow, though. Junkrat is at 70 HP. Is trying to get away here. Gets killed by Sylvanas. And the rest of the team is also still totally fine. Another hook and Whitemane falls. Yep, that's 2 heroes down. And since they have a big minion wave plus catapults and siege giants coming through the top lane, they're immediately going for the top keep too. And this one will fall. And then they can escort the same wave over towards that core. Look for kills. See if they can lock something else in. And it's certainly looking really, really good for the KD agents. I mean, that core is losing its shield quickly. We had 17 kills to 1, as mentioned. And with a 3-level lead, they are about to lock in the W in game number 1. Forset very diligent about just simply hitting the core here. And in the meantime, Johanna is just attempting to buy them a bit more time. And the core is at 50% as the red team decides that they don't want to go for it after all. They turn it though, go for Hanzo, and are able to get themselves another kill. Even Blaze is now in trouble. Bunkers up at the last possible moment and is still not out of the woods. Here comes Stitches with a mad gobble up. The gas, the wind tunnel, and that is Whitemane, Blaze, and Junkrat all gone. Exactly what they needed here. 5-man team wipe as the team gets murdered, and the KD agents take the victory in game number 1 of the best of 3 series. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Infernal Shrines is the next map in the best of 3 series. The KD agents are now in the lead. We got Fields Abzirman. A little bit overwhelmed in game number 1. Early game was not really too rough, but we had an aggressive move from the KD agents for a camp, and I think this is where it already started to go a bit downhill for the blue team. They not only lost the camp, but they also lost multiple heroes. I think it was a 1 versus 3 trading kills. And it kind of started this snowball off for the KD agents. I mean, it was a small start, obviously, but it really worked. Now that we're in game number 2, it means that 10 heroes that have been played on the previous map cannot be played again. So those are already out. Still plenty of heroes available, but just as a bit of a side note, we get Maiev and we have Sergeant Hammer on the other side banned. Also, again, quick shout out to everybody that supports the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support efforts like hosting the Underdog Cup, hosting the Murky Cup and others, then this is the best way to actually do that. So if you want to check it out, again, you got the link right here. There's also a direct link in the description. Always appreciate it. We're trying to keep the Heroes of the Storm scene alive, the esports scene. Blizzard has obviously abandoned this already like 6-7 years ago, and we're still trying to power through here. So if you're interested in supporting this, this is where you can do that. Mephisto banned, which I can understand. Vala makes me a little bit sad to see her on the chopping block as well. But we have seen a little bit more Mephisto now in Infernal Shrines, which is quite nice. It was actually Macke that came in with Mephisto on Infernal Shrines, and he was like the OG Mephisto on this map that picked it over and over again and started to popularize it a little bit more. Then we had a phase where basically every single team had a Mephisto player that would, at a minimum on Infernal Shrines, sometimes also on Tomb of the Spider Queen, play him. And then Mephisto started to fall off again. And lately you haven't really seen him all that much. Other heroes have gotten a lot higher priority in this. But we get Dehaka now as our first pick. Reminder, he was actually banned on the previous one. But Fields of Abzirman decided that they are more worried about damage dealers this time. Chromie and Leoric. As we have the Janitor again. All shall suffer. One day I'm gonna get my baseball skin for Leoric. I'm not even a baseball fan. I'm not even a huge baseball fan. I think I watched 2 baseball matches in my life live. That was in Korea. It's just like part of the experience, I suppose. But even I can totally see, you know, how Leo, baseball bat, just goes for the home run, announces that thing. All the emotes, all of the animations, like the entire persona of Leoric writes itself right now. I think they will have to, they could also create like a Nexus team or something. That would be kind of fun, but I think a baseball skin for Leoric would be incredible. It would be absolutely insane. I mean, he goes for the swing all the time, so it would be glorious. But we got Diablo and Anduin on the side of the red team now. So the KD agents with Diablo to bully people on the shrine and stun them into walls. Anduin together with that. Yeah. Anduin has escaped the latest boy band and is now trying to get that hairstyle popularized again. I actually don't think this is a thing anymore, right? Actually, it's Breeze's hairstyle when you think about it. I mean, look at the portrait of Anduin here and don't tell me you don't see Breeze's haircut. 100%. Tychus for Odin transformation. We get ETC, so Leo ETC on the front line. Chromie is going to fire away from ranged as Tychus moves in a little bit closer to try and take him out. The Garrosh ban too, so that resulted in ETC being picked, always assuming that Garrosh was of interest to them. Well, we need damage. We don't have damage yet. Are we going to see a light bomb combo with Genji? Tracer? I mean, if anything, it's most likely going to be Genji, but are they really playing him on Infernal Shrines? And the answer is no, they go Tracer. We get Kel'Thas and we get Tracer. So we got our light bomb engage. We got also some living bombs from Kel'Thas and more CC, of course, on top of that. So, yeah. And with that, we get Uther as the final pick. The holy cow is a possibility. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 2, Infernal Shrines. Fields of Zearman in blue on the left with a grenade build for Tychus. We got Yama on Tychus playing the StarCraft Renegade with Elixir on ETC. Sasori is going for Chromie. We got Casado on Leoric, and then Win and Tonic with Uther. Yeah, honestly, we need like a full Akatsuki team. Every single time that I see Sasori play here, we need a full Akatsuki team. That's just the thing. Over on the right side, the KD agents with a no-scope ninja on Tracer. It's gonna get the light bomb support as the game continues and level 10 kicks in. Kratadel on Dehaka. We got Megiblitz on Anduin. Simply with Diablo, and then Kani on Kel'Thas. So, time for Mana Addict again. Let's go. Also the question, do we get the Holy Cow here? You could go ETC Mosh Pit with a follow-up Divine Shield. So, that is a possibility from here on out. Prog-Rock on level 1 for ETC. So, a bit more healing. Uther is just not enough. Uther wants to take down Snowman again. Wants to abandon them. Just leave them alone. But by now, it's the bottom of the map. That's where the stun hits Diablo, the slide, and then he gets pushed. Ooh, gets pushed around, pushed into tower range again. That could have been a kill. I think if they didn't do so much damage to Kel'Thas with that first damage rotation, he might be a little bit more aggressive and have tried to pursue ETC and take him on. With level 4, we now get the time troubles. Yeah, that's what Watchers are for. But grenade to the face of Tracer. But Tychus is still fine here. Tychus is still all good. And up at the top we got the Janitor. So, but down at the bottom of the map, that's where we currently have the camps slowly claimed. It's just exchange left, right, and now that we have the neutral camp at the bottom of the map, we'll see which team actually makes a play for that. Diablo obviously very interested to also take the minion waves out. He wants to get his full stacks on the baseline. He's currently sitting at only 23, so not really a whole lot going on for him here. ETC is trying to invade this. Gravity Lapse, but they don't have enough from what it seems like. ETC is attempting to zone them, but it's a full 5-man now at the bottom of the map for the red team. And that's a bit more than Fields of Zearman is comfortable with. So they just fall back and say, alright boys, we got the message, we're gonna deal with it later. Tracer though, his first blood gets eliminated. Locked down, big CC chain against her. And the Nexus Mosquito that was buzzing around the entire time and just nibbling away at the blue team's hit point pools is now gone. So Tracer down, going for the Pulse Generator and the Parting Gift. Yeah. was a lot of gifts in that last fight as she departed the area. But the first shrine is going to be up at the top. So we're talking Arcane Punisher for now. But the blue team is already pushing at the bottom of the map and is not necessarily rushing to get to the top lane. It's a 5 versus 5 on the map now, of course. But yeah, they did good damage there. That bottom gate is nearly destroyed. The tower is gone. Quick rotation here towards Diablo. Didn't get caught off guard or anything. But yeah, ETC is still there. Gets stunned into the wall. Gravity lapse. A bit damage. Again, you slow them down slightly. You get a bit of damage connected. You interrupt the rotation. There's not really a lot of consequences here just yet. But there's of course more that could happen later. For now, we have Leo taking control of the shrine and doing his thing. ETC with another slide as they're aiming for Diablo. But the push, and this time he gets out again. No way. I like the way that Diablo is just pushing him into those structures, or tries to time and time again. But that ETC now got away for the second time in a row without getting crushed there is pretty crazy. So yeah, we'll see if they can get a bit more done as the game continues here and finally control the cow, get some beef on the barbecue. But for now they're going for Leo, who also makes it. ETC, yes, he can die after all. Takes a little bit, but he is down. Now the blue team is still on 29 shrine stacks for shrine minions. So this is not a guaranteed victory yet for the KD agents, even with the kill that they just got against the frontliner of their opponent. With a well-placed grenade or two, you could still get that. But for now, it is the KD agents that are catching up quickly. But they won't have time all game long. Leo is in the middle though. Leo has not made a move here yet. It's 32 stacks now against 20. They go for Tychus, the big attack, and Tychus is gonna die. He should die, and he does die. Tychus is down, but the blue team still believing in their chances of grabbing this, I believe. Well, maybe not anymore, because now we have the KD agents taking over. It's actually pretty impressive that they're able to pull that off. They're not quite there yet, 38 to 34, but they're closing in. One more is all that they need here, and they grab it. The KD agents with Punisher, #1. Leo survives, barely. They're trying for ETC, and if the Punisher jumps, yep, that's on cooldown, and it's a kill as well. ETC is gone, 3 kills to 1. And proccing the Punisher ability is, of course, another win for the KD agents. It means that the Punisher stays in front of the wall for the time being. Way more damage that they're able to do thanks to that. And we already have Chromie and Tychus both falling back here because they realize that they can't stay there. If they get stunned out by the Punisher, then they're just getting dusted. So Diaga rotates between the lanes and tries to get level 10 for the red team. The fort is about to be destroyed here too. So that's with the first objective, a first fort already gone. That's a huge win for the KD agents. This is a best of 3 series, and the red team is already ahead. So this is their chance to move on to the next round in the losers bracket, where they would face off against low APM if they take it here, in a best of 5 series, of course. So low APM is watching this and is currently checking what's going on here, preparing for the next opponent. But the KD agents, they are slowly and steadily getting ahead on this. And they still have a 1.5 level gap over the opponent's team. So experience-wise, they are looking great. And they might just be able to leverage that level 10 ability. And by now, the 2 level advantage with it is just bonkers to get themselves another structure. They already took some walls out. Maybe they can take a fort. But right now, we have on level 10 also the sticky bomb. Few camps have been claimed, and that's another wall that should at a minimum fall. Leo is the only defender here. He's not going to be enough. They're rotating a few more heroes down in order to stop this. They're also very close to level 10 themselves now. But this was a lot of value for the KD agents with the play that we saw from them in the early game. And most of it centered really around the objective at the top lane. Now we got Leoric with Entomb, we got Uther with Divine Shield, ETC. I mean, it has to be Moshpit at this point. If you go stage dive, you can mirror the Haka a little bit more, but you want to go for the Holy Cow. Divine Shield is in, and ETC goes for the Mosh and hits 3 of them. They might get Diablo. It wasn't quite as one-sided as we thought it would be. The Divine Shield came out too early, so he got interrupted after all. But, well, it wasn't too bad. The problem is, It wasn't enough. It wasn't... yeah, Tychus! And he's dead. Tychus is dead. Tracer gets eliminated. We get a double kill for the KD agents, and then Tracer falls too. Worth it? Hell yeah. 2-for-1 trade between the teams. Great job. Working on that advantage. We got 17,000 damage now for Khaldor. He's the top damage dealer on the red team. And that shows you once again that just rocking the big numbers doesn't necessarily mean that you are in a better spot. It gives you a bit of an indication, but it doesn't quite show the whole picture. And if you look at the numbers output of Fields of Zearman, they are nearly doubling what we see from Khaldor. They're certainly way ahead of that with the 28,000 for Chromie, the 22,000 for Tychus. They just can't get the kills. They are not able to get the kills right now. And that's their biggest problem. So at this point, we now have a level 13 talent advantage for the KD agents, so they're taking the lead on this. The camp is already claimed, and the shrine will activate at the bottom of the map. And the chances of Fields of Zearman getting to their next talent by that time is essentially none. They don't even have level 12 yet. So if they let this one go, then it's going to be a freebie for the KD agents. But there's a chance that they're trying to poke a bit and see if they can somehow get a kill. Maybe isolate a target. I just think that the chances of that actually happening are slim to none. But we'll see. Time will tell. Ooh, Leo gets killed at that top lane. Yeah, they're trying to go for the Haka. Might still be able to get something here. But with Leo murdered, that's another big win for the KD agents here. So, nicely done. That's 6 kills to 2 now overall. And obviously, with them sitting above 30 stacks now on Shrine minions, they also have a great time on this. They're trying to go for Chromie in the middle. Leo's here too. Chromie gets stunned into the wall and gets crushed. And Tomb or no Entomb, it doesn't actually matter here. It's not in range of the forward shots anyways. But Diablo gets taken out. Anduin griefing a little bit. Look at my giblets over here. He was just looking at Diablo. It's like, yeah, do I try? I don't know what Diablo did. Maybe he insulted Anduin's hair. That's the only real explanation that I can come up with. But it seemed to me that McGiblis was intentionally waiting until he was 100% certain that if he tries to go for his trade and save Diablo, it wouldn't suffice and Diablo would just die. So that was just planned. It was a smart plan, but it was a plan nonetheless. Anduin trying to kill Diablo. Successfully at that. By now we got also Tychus dropped. Guys, this is starting to get nasty because the fort at the bottom of the map has now fallen. Now we have the jump proc again in front of the wall, which means that the Punisher is doing extra damage. They're going in deep to try and see if they can get a follow-up kill. But it's a 5 versus 4 regardless. Technically it's a 5 versus 3 because Leo is sitting in the middle trying to get experience for them. There's the level 16 talents right now. And this is a nightmare. It's an absolute disaster for the blue team. The KD agents are moving in with tons of momentum. And Punisher or no Punisher, they're going to destroy that keep with ease. So the keep is gone. And yeah, it's just getting worse. Tracer at 22,000 damage now. Still far behind Chromie or even Tychus. But with 8 kills to 3, they are rocking the show here. They're looking better by the minute. And it seems like Fields of Zearman might just be punching a little bit outside of their weight class. With level 16 talents in a 2-level window, there's a lot that you can accomplish in this time frame. Even if it is just stealing your opponent's camps away. So the KD agents looking absolutely fantastic here. The only one on the side of their opponents that hasn't died yet is Uther. So Uther hasn't fallen yet. What the blue team needs is essentially a holy cow moment. Give me that divine shield with the perfect timing on a mosh pit. Have Chromie and Tychus behind them and go for the kills, and then maybe we're talking turnaround. Maybe we're talking comeback. Not like this. Nope. Yeah, they tried the mosh pit isolation, but Anduin was having none of it. So, yeah, big cooldown burn for absolutely 0 value. For nothing. And that just hurts. Half a level until 16 talents. No, then the blue team can make a move. The mount synergy is quite nice, by the way, for them. They have portrait synergy, feels Abzia and they have Mount Synergy. But apparently, even embracing all of that, it doesn't give them the luck that they need here in order to make those plays. We had 40 stacks for Califas. A nice shield that he's talking about here. Nice mana pool. In comparison, I mean, this is all globe-based, but in comparison, you look over to ETC, and he is sitting at 16. That doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room here. We got Benediction now that we have level 16 talents. Grenade build continued. Mithril Maze kicks in as well. And they're trying for the structure. They're trying to take one on. It's even talents now. There's the Gravity Lapse though. And the Light Bomb engage on Tychus. They go for Chromie. They go for Tychus. That's a double kill. And I think they're going to at a minimum make it a triple. Tracer's already coming in for Uther. That's one gone. They are hoping to get another connect here. ETC was sliding out, but yeah, Leoric, okay, he ghosts away, is able to make it. But that's 3 heroes eliminated. The fort in the middle is now also dropped. And Leo gets crushed by Tracer. Nicely done by the no-scope ninja. And of course, not only do you have now the fort or the temple, the shrine in the middle, but you have the keep in the mid lane getting attacked. The gate slowly taken out. 12 kills to 3. ETC can't do anything by himself. The damage dealers are finally back up on the map, but all they wanted to do is soften this up for the next push, and this is exactly what we're now seeing in front of us. 31,000, 32,000 damage for Tracer, 38,000 for Chromie. So pretty big here. And the blue team is doing the only thing they can. They're trying to engage in the fight before the level 20 talents are ready for the KD agents. They might even be able to get a kill here. Here comes the Mosh from ETC. Gets pushed around again, but they still get the kill on Anduin. Chromie dies too though. Chromie dies. Diablo moves in once more. ETC slides out so much living bomb damage now though. They go for Diablo, or they try to, but Tychus and ETC are both getting killed. Uther is gone. This looks like a 5-man team wipe. It smells like a 5-man team wipe, and it is a 5-man team wipe. The core is already losing hit points as the catapults are firing away. Topside keep is about to fall as well. Tracer moving towards the middle with the Punisher taking. The rest of the team is also on the move, and the catapults still wreaking havoc here. The core already down to 61% as the team finally arrives. And this is, of course, a 2-0 victory for the KD Agents as they move on to the next round in the losers bracket here in the playoffs of the Underdog Cup, and feels Abzia gets dropped out of the tournament. Nicely done. Nice victory. GG. Well played.